Have you ever spent hours and hours looking through videos on YouTube about productivity and in general how you can be more productive? Because I definitely have, and for many, many years, I was a very, very big consumer of self-help content in general. And as much as I still do love some forms of self-help content and I still do consume it from time to time, I think my mindset overall has changed a lot over the last few years and since entering my 30s, that I tend to think very differently now about the whole self-help community and basically how I live my life. So in this video today, I'm going to be talking about why I don't subscribe to toxic productivity anymore and why I think that there's better ways to help yourself be more productive at times when you need to and really just push productivity to the side for good at times. For those of you who are new to this channel, hi, my name's Kaylee and I'm a beauty and fashion photographer based near Sydney, Australia, but I'm also a content creator and I started this channel a few years ago to talk about all things content creation, business, social media and freelancing. And unfortunately, as someone who owns their own business and someone who considers themselves to be a freelancer and a content creator, I find that productivity comes up a lot in my day-to-day. And for many years, as I mentioned, I was always trying to find more ways to be more productive. It was just an everyday thing that I felt that I needed to be on top of, and when I wasn't being productive, it didn't feel good. So this is why I'm making this video today, to talk about why productivity gurus and productivity in general just feels a little bit different to me now, and I think that I have a very different take on it all. So when we talk about toxic productivity, I feel that it's something, especially within the last 5 to 10 years, that has really blown up online. And as I mentioned, productivity gurus are very, very popular on YouTube and elsewhere online. So there has been this kind of shift ever since hustle culture kind of came along in previous years. I think that's really exacerbated the need for this productivity that so many people do feel the need to get better at and find so many different ways to be even more productive in their days and with their lives. Now, I do call this toxic productivity because I think that it gets to a point where it's no longer about being productive with certain tasks or certain areas of your work. It ends up consuming your entire life, and it also makes you feel inferior if you're not being productive at all times. Now, this can be in your downtime, for example, when you're taking a couple of hours off during the day to have a break and you start to feel the need or that voice inside your head that's telling you that you should be productive at this point. You shouldn't be sitting down doing nothing. You shouldn't be reading a book. You shouldn't be enjoying a hobby. You should be productive. It's this thing that tells us that that is the key and the only thing we should be aiming for in life is to be productive, to fill in your time, to fill in your days. And I do feel that to an extent, productivity has its time and place, and productivity gurus even have their time and place. I do feel that there is a lot of benefit for certain things that you can learn from these people, but I do also feel that it's held on this pedestal above all else. And if you're a productive person, that means you're going to be successful. That means you are successful. That means you kind of crack the code, so to speak. And in saying this, the reason I don't subscribe to toxic productivity anymore is because I already did. And for years, I was poring over YouTube videos, looking at ways to be more productive with my life. And in my days, I just felt too lazy. I felt that I was not getting enough done ever. And it was always this pressure and this guilt that I was putting on myself in a day, especially as someone who owns their own business and someone who's creative. I think that this can be extremely detrimental because you really get stuck in a cycle of doing this, and day to day, you often have those voices telling you that you're not enough and you're not doing enough. It really feels impossible to get in a creative mindset when you're thinking about these kinds of things all the time. And it also makes it impossible to even enjoy your hobbies and to really relax. Just simply being productive and always achieving goals is not as fulfilling as you might think it is, because there's always something that we need to be doing and there's always going to be another goal that we want to achieve. It never really stops. So if you're living your life in this way, it won't stop. This need for that constant productivity is never going to stop. It won't end. And one of the reasons I don't like how a lot of people talk about productivity and how a lot of people want you to follow productivity gurus is that sometimes, especially as creatives, we really need to allow ourselves to be bored at times. We need to let our minds wander a little bit, and we need to not constantly be thinking about how we're going to be filling in our time. As I mentioned, there's 100% a time and place for learning more about productivity, routines, and things that you can do to really help yourself in your workday or with certain tasks to make your life easier. And that's a really good way to look at productivity, is if it's going to make your life easier or make your tasks or work easier in the end. That is really what I think you should be aspiring for more with productivity. Like I said, the problem with this is that it's been exacerbated by the hustle culture that has become so popular over the last decade, and it really has become this pinnacle for success and for achieving things. Now, success means different things to different people, and as I've gotten older, my priorities have changed and my values have really evolved. I now value my mental health above my work, I value my friends and family above my work, and I also value my happiness and my peace above my work. So for me now, that is something that will always win over that need to constantly be productive. And this is exactly why so many self-help books that I've read over the past couple of years, I've actually had to put down after a little while of reading them. It's because they haven't either resonated with me, I've not really related to the person who's writing the book at all, or it's written in a very robotic structure rather than touching on the emotional side at all. I've talked about the MBTI personality types on my channel before, and for those of you who have seen those videos, you'll know that I'm an INFP, which stands for introverted, intuitive, feeling, and prospecting. And so all of this stuff goes really against every fiber of my being. Being overly productive for no specific reason other than to always be achieving and always be busy and always be successful in that manner, I feel is just completely against my values now. And being productive all the time is just not something that I'm going to be aiming for. This may not resonate for everyone though, because everyone is different and some people are more suited to a rigid style of productivity or something that's a bit more intense. But I do think overall this toxic productivity that has been so consuming over social media and especially YouTube over the past 5 years or so has overall been quite detrimental to a lot of people, and especially those people in the creative fields that often need that time to breathe and really that time away from their work and away from necessarily being productive so they can be in that creative state. So let me know down in the comments section your thoughts about this. Do you think that intense productivity is a good thing or a bad thing? And have you suffered with consuming toxic productivity before in the past? And how are you finding ways to avoid that now? I really want to know all of your thoughts down in the comments section below. I know for me personally, productivity has definitely taken a back seat in the last few years, and I definitely make more of a point of making more time for my self-care instead of always feeling the need to be productive. I really try and let myself shut off when I'm not at work and really don't feel that need to constantly be doing something and filling in my day all the time. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, make sure you do, because I'll be posting so many more videos in future. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this one, and if you want more topical videos that we can just kind of chat about and create a conversation in the comments section, I'd love to know. But thank you again so much for watching this video today, and I will see you in the next one.